trauma bonds. Got close off of battle scars. Equal pain, so we think it's equal game. Same team, but it's different hearts. Same goals, but it's different shots. Thought we was one and the same. Turns out you were just running me game. Should've known, but I couldn't guess it. It's a damn shame.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Hoop MCs, episode 39. Nassim, I feel like this is a different dynamic.
Something's not right here.
It isn't. I see you.
Dude, can I touch you?
Yeah.
What the hell, dude? What's going on here?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're bringing a new format, finally.
Oh, my God.
Wait, do we do 38 or 39 episodes?
I think we're on 39.
This is 39, right?
Pretty sure.
Yeah. 38 episodes later, here we are. We're a couple of vaccinated boys. And, the CDC said it's okay for us to do this, I think, right?
Yeah, they're actually right outside the door. They said everything was okay.
Yeah. So I think we're good on the permish side. But, yeah. Welcome, my friend.
Welcome, dude. It's been a hell of a ride. Now we're finally in person, dude.
Yeah. I think we started this back in November, right?
Yeah, which is crazy, actually.
I think I came to you with this idea.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
you
man.
sound like the Avengers right now.
Why?
You came to me with an idea?
Honestly, I haven't watched Avengers.
Wow, dude.
So
okay.
I'm not going to understand the reference.
Hey, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys.
Yeah. No, November we started this thing, and, it took 5 months, but here we are in person.
Yeah, it's about time, dude.
Yeah. No, but anyways, we're doing this live in person. We're in my house. This is my office space. Like, dude, a couple weeks ago, literally, I had a gym in here.
Yeah, I know. It's not even a week ago. You had nothing in here behind you.
Yeah, I went through so many transformations in this room in the past couple weeks, dude.
I'm sure if you went back and watched our podcast, you can see Hassan's room slowly start to change.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Like, you'll see the little barbell on some of the episodes, and then you'll see like literally nothing, just emptiness. And then in the last week and a half, I literally went on a shopping spree to get all of this. So
yeah, shout out to Hassan. He put all this together.
Yeah.
This guy, he has an act for putting rooms together. Apparently, you should work at Rooms to Go. Together.
I'm putting my 2 weeks in, baby, right now at my job, which I have a stable income to work at Rooms to Go. I wanted to talk a little bit about the format. So we usually do Mondays, Thursdays, where we release episodes, and we record Saturdays, Tuesdays. So our Saturday goes out on Monday, Tuesday goes out on Thursday. I think we're probably going to end up recording Saturdays and just releasing this sometime during the week and just move to a weekly episode. But we are giving you the same amount of content in terms of time. So, if you guys are not a fan of longer episodes, I can't do anything for you, okay? All right, that's just how it goes.
You can always just break it up into two.
You could technically, but you'll be kind of delayed on the news, I guess. But hey, man, you got to start from somewhere. Who knows where this thing goes?
Mike and Ike, we're still waiting for the sponsorship.
We're desperately waiting. We'll take anything, honestly. So if there's like a Walgreens Mike and Ike version, hit us up, dude.
Any sort of thing.
Anything.
Well, yeah.
Let's go ahead and jump into it. What's new around the NBA? I think we wanted to talk about James Harden and KD, right?
Yeah, dude, nice.
Yeah. So James Harden's setback.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe it's a setback, or do you believe he did something sketchy and he was set back like that?
I don't know. I've never in the 10 or however many years that James Harden was here, he never had like an actual injury to keep him out.
So hear me out. This happened, I think, when the team traveled to Miami.
Yeah.
And then the news comes out. Steve Nash says we're basically back to square one. What exactly happened with James Harden?
He
Did a stripper get rough on him?
That's what I'm thinking, man. He messed up his hamstring.
Yeah, like was that stripper like tipped by the Miami Heat staff? Like, yo, F up this guy's hammy.
I wouldn't be surprised because like he literally never had a setback in his career up until now. So now it's a little, kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like you're on Reddit a little too much. So maybe that's also it.
This was not a Reddit forum, believe it or not. This is just me being a conspiracy theorist.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's obviously a blow, but surprisingly, the Nets haven't fallen off in the standings just yet. It's still close between them and Philly. And then KD in Miami goes out with like a quad strain or whatever. So now it's just Team Kyrie right now.
Yeah, brother Kyrie.
Brother Kyrie. Did you see his comments?
Yeah, I saw his post-game interview.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, he someone asked him a question if he's participating in Ramadan this year.
Yeah.
And he said yes, that he is fasting with all his Muslim brothers and sisters, and that
Sick.
he is blessed to be guided from Allah.
Yeah.
I don't know what else he said.
Nah, but we're just really happy for Kyrie, I think.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, it's my uncle is a Lakers fan, right?
Yeah.
And he's just hated Kyrie. I don't know why.
And now he's a fan, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes.
He's like, maybe Kyrie isn't that bad.
yeah. maybe he's misunderstood.
Yeah.
After all.
That's literally what you sound exactly like him.
He just had a tough upbringing, so I think he's finding his way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm what's it called? I wanted to talk about kind of just the Nets and the Sixers. That's still competitive between them two. Dude, so speaking of Sixers, by the way, did you see the Sixers and Suns game? How that wrapped up?
I honestly don't know how I would have reacted either. Like if I was either player, like Devin Booker, I don't know if you saw him just staring at it.
Yeah,
he didn't even like have a reaction. I would have been like, "Holy shit! Holy crap, dude!" But he didn't really care. And Joel Embiid, you said he fell to the floor.
Yeah, so you didn't see it, but it was because you know how Joel Embiid is like the most dramatic player in the NBA.
Yeah.
So like, first of all, it was impressive alone just how he was able to like literally everything had to go perfectly. So it was a 3-point game. Paul had the last free throw. He missed it. The angle that it missed, it was perfect for Embiid to just grab the rebound. And, like, literally this dude had to grab it without, like, fully coming on the ground. I think he just literally just, like, QB Hail Mary to the end zone.
He Patrick Mahomes that.
Yeah, he literally Patrick Mahomes it. And this thing went bank, in and out. And I think I would have probably reacted just as the guy.
Yeah, because, I mean...
I would rather see that thing sent to the bleachers.
Who was it? Tosh Gibson for the Knicks, who sent it like 6 yards into the stands a couple years ago? This guy was trying to take a half-court shot and it sailed into the stands.
Oh, yeah. Isn't there like some YouTube clips of like the worst buzzer and the worst like half-court heaves?
Dude, they're actually hilarious the way they just go flying.
Oh, wait. It was JaVale McGee, too. I think this guy heaved it, and it went like 30 feet behind the actual goal.
Before JaVale McGee was on the Warriors, that guy was a walking, what is it? Shacked in a fool.
Yeah.
That guy was, yeah. I don't know what happened when he went to the Warriors, but that guy was just a joke before that.
Yeah. Wait, he was on the which team was he on before?
I'm pretty sure he was on the Nuggets.
He was on the Nuggets, but he started off his career, I think, with the Nuggets.
Yeah.
And then, did he play on the Lakers?
Not before.
Before the Warriors, and then went back to the Lakers?
I don't know. Did he go to the Cavs?
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty sure.
I think so.
I want to say he was on the Sixers, but I don't remember.
Honestly, the guy's just an idiot. Yeah.
But he's a good guy, though, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm sure he's a great citizen. But what were we talking? Okay, so yeah, I brought up the Sixers and the Nets. But first of all, with the Nets, what do you think are the odds? Not the odds, but just do you think the Nets have any chance of getting the 1 seed?
Well, how much are they separated by? I haven't checked.
Dude, it's literally neck and neck. I think they had the same amount of losses, and the Nets may have even actually took first place.
I think, the Nets are going to pull ahead at the end. Brother Kyrie, first off, will hold the fort down. But once KD and Harden return, I'm sure they're just going to rip a huge streak right towards the end of the season. If they come back for the regular season. I know they're still...
I don't think that they're going to play another game in the regular season.
You don't think not even one?
Why would you risk it?
You don't have any chemistry.
You
know what I'm saying?
I thought about that, but do they need chemistry?
Well, just a little. Well, I don't know anymore. I mean, you have 3 great players. Like, it doesn't even matter.
Like, I feel like we got enough of a sample size with Harden and Kyrie, which I think was the biggest issue, really, between them, right?
Yeah.
Because they're both, like, ball-dominant players. KD, I feel like you could just stick him in. He's a glue guy.
Yeah.
He's obviously the best offensive player on that team, but I'm not even sure, dude, if you need chemistry.
I don't know. Well, even then, like they still gotta. It's not. Never mind. I was gonna say they need to get chemistry with the bench guys, but literally it doesn't matter. You have KD, Kyrie, and Harden.
Somebody
matter.
like two of them are going to be on the floor the whole time or something like that.
And what's funny because you're never not throughout for a minute of the game going to be able to stop one of them. There's always going to be one of them that's having it, like having that night. There's no way all three of them are going to have an off night on the same night.
No, I agree with you. The only thing, the concern with the Nets is if a team plays up to their level on offense, it's just a matter of defensive stuff. It's just a matter of if that team's going to be better than you offensively that very night. Or if we see some sort of like just discombobulation with that team. Just like something that nobody could have predicted where they're just not hitting their shots or whatever.
Yeah. That's obviously that's always. I feel like it's always a concern with a James Harden led team. Is the defense going to be able to hold it down when both offenses are going back and forth? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think they will. Honestly, that's why the Lakers, to me, are the only actual threat to the Nets, just because they're the only ones who can play offense and defense.
Yeah. Before we start talking about the Nets and Lakers, and I want to talk about before we'll end up seeing the Nets and Lakers. So I want to stay in the East, but actually, you brought up the Lakers. LeBron James, transition game here. Wait for it. It's happening. LeBron James, you said he had a quote, right, about the Knicks.
Yeah.
What was it?
He just put out like a tweet. I don't remember the exact wording of the original tweet, but then towards the end, he's like, the league is better when the Knicks are playing good.
Yeah. Okay.
LeBron to New York?
No, no, but I'm glad. So I told Nassim, like, we were just coming up with ideas. I'm like, yo, I actually wanted to talk about the Knicks, and I actually had that same idea. Like, when the Knicks are playing good, when major media markets are playing good, it's always good for the league. Yeah. The Nets, if they end up getting the 1 seed, there's a scenario where we might actually see a Brooklyn versus New York matchup in the semifinals. So, like, hear me out. So the Knicks, they're hot, right? Mm-hmm. So imagine they end up getting in the 4-5 seed, and we'll probably end up seeing like anybody from the Hawks, the Celtics, and Miami. First of all, if we get a Knicks and Boston Celtics matchup in the first round, fire. Yeah. That is fire. New York-Boston rivalry, dude.
In the first round?
In the first round. When was the last time New York and Boston played in the playoffs?
Well, man,
was Melo? Did they ever play like Melo and the Celtics?
I don't think so, because Melo played the Heat.
He played the Heat with Lynn, right?
Yeah.
And they got bounced in the first round.
Yeah.
Before that, I know they played Chicago, and they lost to Chicago, but I don't know if they ever played the Celtics, like, recently.
I don't think they have.
It's been at least 20 years or something.
That would be a good renewal of a rivalry.
Yeah, that's going to be sick, because the Celtics are, obviously, they've been, like, really good in the past however many long years, like the 10 years. They've been a well-run organization, and now they're looking very beatable, and the Knicks are looking good this year. That's going to be a very good playoff series.
You want me to be completely honest with you?
Give me your honesty. That's what I hired you for.
Celtics are 4-1-ing them if they play in the first round.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I could see that happening, actually.
Yeah.
I could see that. Because the Celtics remind me of a team that just ends up showing up in the playoffs, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the Knicks don't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't...
Like, I can definitely see Julius Randle crumbling in the playoffs.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, other than Julius Randle, who's going to step up for the Knicks in the playoffs?
Well, so Derrick Rose, I don't know if he's going to step up, but he's, like, a solid guy for them to have. And then they got, like, Iman Quickly. He's actually pretty good, man.
Yeah, I do like him.
I don't know about, damn it, what's his name? He got drafted last year with
Austin Rivers.
No. He's with, didn't he go to Denver?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but, damn it. He got drafted last year.
You can't remember his name.
I have his top
RJ
shot.
Barrett.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, RJ Barrett.
You have his top shot.
Yeah, I think he's doing good this year too.
Yeah, he is.
So, I mean, the Knicks are a good team. Don't get me wrong, but I just think it would be great basketball to see that.
I mean, the storyline is great. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I insist.
Okay. Now, I was just gonna say, even like a Miami, New York,
yeah,
would be sick.
I like the storylines in these would be great, but
Great.
to be honest with you, like Miami and Boston are running through the Knicks.
You think so?
Yeah,
You don't see any chance the Knicks pull this off?
They get one game.
I really do want to see a Knicks and Nets. I think that's the reason why I'm pulling for the Knicks so hard.
Yeah.
And I agree with LeBron, what he said. Like, New York Knicks playing good basketball is good for the NBA.
Yeah, because Madison Square Garden is probably the best place to watch a game, right?
It's iconic.
Yeah, so if for the past 10 years, everybody's going to watch the other team, not the actual Knicks.
Exactly.
So now to have people going for both teams would actually make the games a lot more fun. Like, I would love to watch them on national TV all the time.
Yeah, that's true. Because people would go and buy tickets to see, Kyrie's coming to the Garden, LeBron's coming to the Garden, KD's coming to the Garden, because they want that guy to end up playing for their team.
Yeah.
Now they found themselves a gem in Julius Randle, who, by the way, what a weird story.
I don't even know how to explain it. This guy does spin moves all game, and then he ends up as an all-star.
Yeah, like, okay, so do you remember his rookie season? This guy in his first game blew out his, I don't know, he, like, blew out something. He tore something, and it was out the rest of the year.
Was it against the Rockets? I'm pretty sure.
I think so. Yeah. Like, this was back when Kobe, R.I.P., whenever he was still with the team. And, like, you would honestly assume, like, if something happens like that to a player, their career is essentially not done, but they'll never hit, like, any sort of, like, peak that they had at the college level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But good for that guy.
Yeah, it's honestly like I know I joke around a lot saying like the Knicks and Julius Randle aren't serious. The Knicks I still don't think are serious, but Julius Randle is a great player, and like his comeback story just makes me want them to be good and actually have him have a successful career. Because the guy's gone through a lot, and he's already, like you just said, he's peaking at an all-star level after having one of the worst possible scenarios in your first NBA career game.
Yeah. Who would you give more MVP votes? Hear me out. Julius Randle or, I don't know, Steph Curry?
I knew you were going to say it. Steph Curry.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because Steph Curry is more valuable, first off. He does a lot more for his team. I know Steph is like, 10th and in the West? And
so the Knicks are actually a good defensive team, so I think I'm going to concede this argument, but continue.
Okay, thank you. But what are the records like? Are they close to each other, the Knicks and the Warriors?
So the Warriors, I think they're just 500 or one game below 500, and the Knicks are like 6 or 7 games above 500.
I mean, winning doesn't really matter in the MVP anyways, am I right? James Harden getting robbed, but
LOL shade being thrown. But no, you're probably right though, because I think the Knicks, they got some good pieces around Julius, and obviously Julius has been a beast this season. But yeah, I think you remove Steph with just like, I think there's a stat called like value over replacement player. If you just put like one of the average players in the league, that team is probably worse than the Rockets.
No, yeah, they're 100. Like Steph, literally is he. Speaking of Steph, let's just transition into this. Okay. We were talking about his quote. He said that he believes he's the MVP, right?
Yeah.
I can see where he's coming from. He also said that he doesn't think he'll actually win it. It definitely is the most valuable player right now, but I don't think he's gonna win it just because of wins and team success.
I would be outraged if that guy won, though.
Yeah, 100%. He'll never win that. Nobody will ever win an award like that, being in this position that he is. But he is the most valuable player to his team. He's literally James Harden for the last decade.
Yeah.
Where James Harden was the most valuable player on a bad team.
That's essentially why I was going to say I would be outraged, because as a Rockets fan, we literally saw exactly what Steph is doing like this whole time.
Yeah.
And for this guy to just randomly win it, and now they're going to change like this, this is, so we actually based it off of these metrics or whatever the case may be. I would be pissed.
I actually think there would be a lot of verbal outrage from players themselves too, not just from fans.
Yeah.
Also, how the heck do I turn this up?
What?
My audio?
Yeah. So, one sec. Let me get my guy. I'm gonna make it right for this guy.
Yeah.
Better?
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
My bad, dude.
No, you're good. It happens. Yeah, we wouldn't be able to do that on the internet. No, sirree.
No.
That's the beauty of just being in person.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we were talking about
Steph. But I do want to bring up something. So, LeBron saying New York media is good for the NBA. I want to talk about the lottery. Okay. See, I agree. When you have major markets like that, or just markets that are like good, you want to ensure that this team is going to be catapulted at a certain level to help them accelerate their rebuilding. With that being said, this is going to be related to the Rockets, okay?
I think I know where you're going with this too.
And I'm pretty sure you are. But the Rockets, look at the teams that are like, look at like the 8 teams or whatever, like the bottom 8, where they're all like in the running for, just essentially they're going to miss out on the playoffs. You got the Rockets. You got the Cavaliers. I don't know why I jumped to the Cavaliers from the Rockets. You got the Rockets. You got the Timberwolves. You got the Pistons. You got the Magic. You got the Thunder. You got Cavs, Kings. And I'm sure you can throw in a couple of other teams that are missing, whatever. Out of those 7 or 8 teams, what?
No, I'm saying there's one team.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah, exactly. Boom. Cool. So out of those 7 teams, which of those teams do you think has the best market for basketball? The Rockets.
Sacramento. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, obviously Houston.
Houston, right?
Yeah.
And Houston, if they didn't have this pick swap, I think this whole conversation can be thrown out the window because they can still suck next year and they can get a good pick or whatever the case may be. Yeah. But it would be asinine for Adam Silver not to rig this NBA lottery.
All right, now I think the bright needing amiibo is starting to creep in.
Think about it though. But look what they did with the Pelicans. Okay? No, hear me out. So with obviously AD, what he pulled was just bad. So I'm gonna make my case, and it's gonna be a strong case. Yeah. So obviously with what AD pulled, it's bad for the league. Believe it or not. Well, it's not bad. It's good, but also. What did Adam Silver do? He went ahead and said, you know what? I appreciate you, New Orleans, because you sent AD to where he wanted to play, which is the Lakers, to help LeBron win, because everybody knows that LeBron brings viewership. He elevates the ratings, whatever the case may be. So I'm going to reward you by giving you the number 1 pick, which they got Zion Williamson, which is a beast. Well, he's a beast this year. Yeah. And they already had Ingram, who turned out to be an all-star. And they already had Lonzo, too, but Lonzo's probably going to end up leaving them. But, so, you cannot tell me that freaking Adam Silver didn't rig that lottery for them.
I don't know. There's certain leagues that I believe are rigged and certain leagues that I believe aren't.
I'm not done, okay?
Okay, well, go ahead.
I just wanted a comment from you. But, hold on. Okay, so, what happened this year? LeBron James wanted to force himself out. Mm-hmm. You know what? Rockets said they played
LeBron
hard.
James.
Huh?
LeBron James.
I said the Rockets.
Yeah, but you said LeBron James wanted to force himself out?
Oh, I meant James Harden.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry.
James Harden wanted to force himself out. Rockets were like, you know what? We're going to play hardball with this guy. We're not going to let him flex on us. Okay, that didn't last long, obviously.
Yeah.
And so they had a bunch of these suitors. Not a bunch, but like 4 or 5 good people. Obviously, where do you think would be the best for the NBA, like revenue-wise, where he would go? Brooklyn.
You don't think Miami?
Brooklyn, dude. Brooklyn. Because if he goes to Miami, there's a chance, with James Harden and the strippers, that thing can blow up in their faces.
Yeah.
So it's safe to send him to Brooklyn because he's going to go end up hooping with his buddy, KD, and Kyrie's there. We're going to eventually see the two clash, the Lakers and the Nets, which is what we want to see, right? KD, LeBron, the 2 best players in the league. The Rockets ended up doing the NBA a favor. They sent them to Brooklyn. Adam Silver recognizes that. He's like, you know what? Don't worry. I got y'all. I'm going to take care of y'all. Boom. We get a number 1 overall pick. That's my theory. This is predicated because of the fact that A, the Rockets did the right thing by the NBA, and 2, it's not good for the basketball for the Rockets to suck long term.
Okay, let me just clear up 2 things. 1, I think I'm gonna start a GoFundMe for my friend Hassan. He needs to visit a doctor or something. Okay.
Yeah.
Look,
it's terminal.
I don't think the league necessarily cares about the Rockets. If I'm being completely honest with you, we're a decent sized market. We're not New York.
Right,
we're not LA. We're not Golden State. Golden State's a pretty big market now.
Yeah.
I don't think the league cares about us, and I don't think
Golden State's not a big market, are they?
Now they are. Yeah, even before the whole Curry era, they were big. They had.
Okay, I see where you're going.
Yeah, anyways, but the Adam Silver is not. Okay, let me say this. If it looks like the Rockets aren't getting the first pick and somehow out of nowhere we end up with the first overall pick, maybe I'll address the situation. But I don't think. First off, I don't even think the NBA is rigged. Maybe the Zion thing was kind of rigged, whatever.
There's no way it's not rigged. There's no way it's not rigged, dude.
Anyways.
Yeah.
I don't think the league is rigging it for the Rockets at all.
You don't think so?
No.
Well,
because we bring no value. Like, what value do we bring compared to
any of those 6 or 7 other teams?
Yeah, maybe we
bring more value. We're definitely bringing in more revenue.
Yeah, but we're not like the big boys. We're not
the big boys. I never said we were the big boys. We are. Like your characterization of who we are in the what's it called? Like who we are in the market or where we are in the market is right. We're like a mid-size.
Yeah.
There's only a couple of top dogs, and you kind of mentioned them, and that's fine. I'm not making an argument to the counter of that. I'm just basically saying like the Rockets have been a pretty stable franchise in the past 20 years. Think about we've always been for the most part we've always made the playoffs. You know, we've always been pretty well run. So I'm saying like why let that go to shit all of a sudden?
Because we have terrible ownership.
Well, do we though?
Yeah.
Honestly, from a basketball perspective, like basketball operations perspective, how bad are we?
Pretty bad. We our CEO just stepped down. I hope. He's saying it's not about Tillman. I don't believe that at all. Actually, I actually think Tillman has a lot to do with it. I mean, you can't sit here and tell me our 2 best players want to leave because of ownership. Daryl Morey steps down, and our head coach stepped down.
I don't think Harden wanted to leave because of ownership.
I'm pretty sure he did.
There's no way, dude.
He's saying he wants to win, but I'm also pretty sure.
I honestly, truly believe it's because of that.
I'm sure that Tillman had a big part of that as well.
But
that's just my opinion.
What could he have done to like piss off Harden? Yeah.
Not give him what he wanted whenever he had the best chance at a ring.
He gave him everything.
That's the first time.
He got him Russell Westbrook, his buddy.
Wasn't Harden was Harden the one who even pushed for that trade? Because
Yes.
I read reports that it wasn't him.
No, he definitely had why would we trade for like 4 freaking picks and Chris Paul for Russell Westbrook?
Because Daryl Morey's brain dead.
Come on, man. First of all, Russell Westbrook didn't even fit in the picture and like the grand picture of what Morey wanted to do, like what he was trying to accomplish.
I actually don't think so, because I think you're wrong. Everyone, you yourself were excited too when we got Westbrook. I know you were. He fit more in our system, we felt like, at the time before the season started than Chris Paul was, since he started that decline with us.
So
I think he was exchanging for a younger, healthy point guard.
Exactly.
In his eyes, right, we were on the cusp 2 years in a row with a point guard who ends up getting hurt or not playing well. We have Harden, Capella, insert point guard. Right. And he's getting the younger, more durable, probably what we all thought was a better point guard at that time.
And that's probably the only pro that Russ had over CP3. And that's the reason why I think a lot of fans probably tricked themselves into thinking, oh, yeah, it was worth making that trade. But clearly it wasn't. Yeah. We couldn't, like, exactly see, or we couldn't have predicted, like, oh, we just needed to make these changes with CP3 and he'd be back to his normal self. But anyways, I wanna get off the Rockets a little bit.
Since you were talking about Westbrook.
Yeah, exactly. Boom. Dude, our minds are so on sync. Like, the Wizards are hot.
Wow, we're going 2 different directions. We'll talk about the Wizards right now, actually.
No, okay, yeah. But the Wizards are hot, dude. They're looking good.
Yeah, me and you, I think not even 2 weeks ago, we said we don't want to see them in the play-in, and here they go on an 8 game winning streak, and they're about to be in the play-in.
10 seed?
Pretty sure they're, if not, they're right on the. Let's check. You know, that's why I have my phone here.
Right.
I actually already have the standings pulled up, so we have the Wizards at the 10th seed.
Yeah.
And they are a game and a half behind the Pacers.
Okay. So, about a month ago or so, we thought, like, all right, this team is dead in the water.
Yeah.
Now, Chicago is bounced out of that 10th seed because they were in that play-in for such a long time. Zach LaVine gets hit with COVID protocols. It's just not looking like they're meshing him and Nikola Vucevic. Now, do you want to see Chicago or Wizards right now?
Probably the Wizards, honestly. They would play... Because I don't want to see the Pacers. The Pacers would probably bounce the Bulls, right?
Pacers.
Oh, wait, no, it goes 7, 10, 8, 9.
I think so.
Okay.
Well, I think what happens is, like, essentially you got to win 2 games in the play-in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, as far as, like, where they start off, yeah, I think 7-10. But just because you lose the first game doesn't mean you're out.
Yeah. Well, the teams that I want to see right now in the play-in would be the Heat, Hornets, and the Wizards. I don't care about the Pacers or the Bulls. So I would much rather see the Wizards over the Bulls because the Bulls bring no value. Because you just said it, they're not meshing well. Zach LaVine is going through COVID protocols.
Yeah.
The Pacers are probably one of the most boring teams outside of the Spurs. So either one of the 3 for Miami, Hornets, and Wizards, I'm fine with advancing.
And realistically, Miami's going to get in,
Yeah.
I think. So really you're talking about one more other team. So you have Charlotte, you have Pacers, you got the Wizards and the Bulls. Out of those, who do you want to see the most? Realistically, me, I'd rather see Charlotte.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Because LaMelo, my boy LaMelo, is coming back, you know?
Yeah.
Who, by the way, how unfortunate for Anthony Edwards. This guy thought he had Rookie of the Year in the bag.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I feel bad, but I also don't just because of D'Angelo Russell. Like, D'Angelo Russell was being corny about when LaMelo got hurt.
Right.
But, I mean, I don't want to make me hate Anthony Edwards because he's actually a great player. But LaMelo is going to be Rookie of the Year, and that's exactly why I want to see them in the play-in. You have a very young talent going in.
Yeah, exactly. So, ideally, that's what I want to see. But in terms of just potentially being in the playoffs, I don't think I want to see Chicago in the playoffs anymore. Yeah, because they're just going to be an easy 4-0.
Yeah.
And they're just not fun to watch, I think.
Yeah, I think out of that matchup, I would want Heat, obviously. So what I wanted the play-in to be is like Heat play the Pacers and then the Hornets and the Wizards go at it. Because that'd be fun. I feel like it's a fun play-in.
Heat play the Pacers and then who goes at it?
The Hornets and the Wizards.
Yeah.
Because I'd be fine with either one advancing. I want the Hornets more, but it was kind of like who did the Blazers play last year? The Grizzlies for the play-in?
Yes.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. Like, I was fine with either team, but I was kind
Right.
of rooting more for the Grizzlies.
Right.
But either way, I mean, it was a fun matchup to begin, or overall.
Right. I agree. Speaking of Blazers, they've been sucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
They're the worst defensive team, I think, actually.
Really?
Or top 3, I'm pretty sure.
I believe that, though. They're on the cusp of getting passed by the Mavs. And we might see a Clippers-Mavs rematch. And I don't know how I feel about that. Do you think it's going to be better or worse?
Worse, probably. The Clippers will run it this time.
And the Clippers have been hot.
Yeah.
They've been hot. They're like 9-1 in the last 10.
Paul George is having a great season, by the way.
Yeah.
Which I think is the biggest difference. They'll run through the Mavs this year.
You think we're going to see PG-13 or we're going to see playoff P?
I think
the playoff P that we've...
Pandemic P?
Pandemic P, yeah. Playoff P or Pandemic P? What are we going to see?
I think we'll see playoff P.
Yeah.
I don't see a Pandemic P this year. He's actually playing very well. Like last year, you could see spurts of him just sucking, right?
Yeah.
This year, he's actually been consistent and staying hot for the most part.
I think, yeah, I agree with you. The Clippers are looking actually very good, and I am hoping that we get a Lakers-Clippers Western Conference Finals this year.
Yeah, at first we wanted the Nuggets.
Yeah, I think the Nuggets would have been good. They could have challenged them, but now that Jamal Murray's out, I don't think we want to waste our times with that.
Yeah.
So I think it's like it would be very beneficial for in the standings in the 2-3 spot, the Clippers stay there, 4-5 spot, Lakers stay there, let them duke it out, and then they'll eventually face each other in the playoffs.
Yeah, I feel like now that the Nuggets are out the way, unfortunately, like we're on a crash course for the Lakers, Clippers, and then Lakers versus Nets. Like everything else, it just feels like I keep going back to this the Warriors and Cavs era where the Rockets were the only team who stood a chance against the Warriors. They would always end up on a crash course, and then the Cavs and the Warriors would always end up on a crash course.
Right.
This is exactly what it is again.
Yeah.
Just different teams.
By the way, this is probably going to be like one of... I don't know how to paraphrase this or like essentially put it into words, but I think this is probably going to be one of the most interesting narratives in the playoffs that we'll see because we're going to get a Battle of LA potentially in the conference finals, and then we're going to get a Brooklyn and Philadelphia potentially that like just the Northeast, that rivalry.
Yeah, they hate each other.
They do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's just gonna be awesome narrative wise to see.
Yeah. I know why the only reason I know why they hate each other is because when they went against each other with D'Angelo Russell and Jared Dudley, that guy Jared Dudley was clamping up Ben Simmons and trying to get hyped, and all I saw was just hate on Twitter between the two. And ever since then, they just have had beef.
Ben Simmons, I think, draws a lot of beef to the Sixers unnecessarily.
Yeah, sometimes it's unwarranted. Like, he's just not even doing anything. And someone's like, this is completely random, but I was looking at Twitter and I saw a picture of Lonzo and Ben Simmons practicing together in the off season, and someone said the gym sounded like a gun range. I don't know why I just thought of that, but it just cracked me.
Dude, I completely forgot about that playoff series with Philly, and that was when Jimmy Butler was still with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's gonna be narrative wise. I think this is gonna be a good playoff wise. It's gonna be good narratives for the NBA.
Yeah.
What else do we have on our list? I feel like.
So I wanted to go back to the Westbrook thing, so we could talk about. Or whenever we were talking about Westbrook, I wanted to touch on the KD top 5 list. I don't know if you saw it.
Yes. Okay. So, go ahead and just give a recap.
So I don't know what podcast KD was on. He could always come to Hoop MCs if he wants. But
if he wants.
He was on a podcast and someone.
I swear to God, hold on before you continue. I will pay KD. I'm trying to look at this camera, dude. If you see a clip of this and you want to come on, I will pay for your ticket. Obviously, that goes without being said. Like, I will lay out the red carpet for you, my man. To a certain extent.
I used to work at AMC theaters. I can figure out a way to hook you up if you need a free movie.
Yeah, of course, that goes without being said. Then again, I don't know why you would come here, to be honest with you, but just wanted to throw that out there. Extend my invite. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He went on a podcast and someone asked him, who are your top 5 players you've ever played against or played with?
Yeah.
Obviously, off the bat, he says Kyrie and James Harden. Yeah. I'm not going to disagree. They're also on his team right now. He has to say that.
Right.
Then he says...
Curry.
He says, Curry, Clay. And then he thinks about the last spot. And then he says Serge Ibaka. And the other two hosts...
No, I was going to say... No, continue your point.
Okay. The other
you might actually be thinking the same thing.
Yeah, the other two hosts were confused. They were like, you're forgetting somebody. And KD was like, who am I forgetting? And then someone says Westbrook, and then he's like, oh, shoot, I'm tripping. Yeah, put Westbrook over Clay, take out Serge, and put Clay at 5.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem intentional, but at the same time, maybe the clip that I saw, it seemed intentional.
This is where I disagree with you. It is absolutely intentional. I think he was like, he meant to say it intentionally, and then he just kind of like acted dumb whenever they caught it, and he's like, oh yeah, I forgot about Russ. Because who the hell thinks about Serge Ibaka as one of the best players? Like, yes, Serge Ibaka is great, but you could have picked Draymond Green, who, had a really big influence on him. Like, they obviously butted heads, but at the same time, I feel like they got along for the most part there. Yeah. He could have picked... who else could he have picked, actually? Now that I think about it, this is weakening my argument.
Nobody else. But I see what you're saying, just because you were obviously a duo for a decade, right?
Yeah.
Probably was about a decade.
Yeah.
And you guys were known as a dynamic duo. You guys were best buds, and then you split up, but... You knew for a fact that you guys were teammates. So I don't know how you forget.
Serge Ibaka was like one of the most latest players. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like recently he played with Serge Ibaka. So he had to think in his mind, like, okay. He thought back to Serge Ibaka, who he played with on the Thunder, who also Russ played with him on the Thunder. Like, why would you pick Serge over Russ?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it seemed intentional, but it also didn't. I don't know if he was genuine about saying, like, I missed it or not. I don't know. But I feel like you're kind of right. He had to have gone out of his way to gotta keep hitting that thing to leave Russ off.
Yeah. One thing also I wanted to talk about, this is completely switching gears. Elite in-game dunkers. So I was thinking about this. In the early 2000s, who do you know was an elite in-game dunker. Elite in-game dunker.
It was Vince Carter.
Correct.
Yeah. Tracy McGrady, maybe.
No, just one person.
Oh, okay.
Vince Carter, right?
Yeah.
Vince Carter was an elite in-game dunker. Who did he pass the torch off to after him?
DeMar DeRozan.
No, like we're talking about time-wise, man.
Oh.
Not in the Raptors.
Well, who did he pass it off to?
Who was the next elite in-game dunker after him? Think about it.
Tracy McGrady.
No, man.
Then who?
LeBron James.
He didn't directly pass it off to him.
He wasn't, but
That's a stretch, but I'll give it to you.
Was it?
I'm not thinking of the Vince Carter passing any torch to LeBron James.
Did T-Mac? Okay, so did T-Mac have the longevity to be considered an elite in-game dunker? First of all, T-Mac was an elite in-game dunker for like 1 or 2 years with Toronto.
I know. That's why I was
I'm saying in the NBA, where did we see that transition from? VC to LeBron James, right?
Maybe, sure, why not?
Okay, just agree with me,
Or
man.
Kobe, whatever. Go ahead.
I'm making my point.
Okay.
Kobe? Come on, grow up.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, it was Vince Carter to LeBron James. Who was after LeBron James? Did we see anybody?
Zion? You're gonna just go ahead and slap
Dude's
me.
been in the league for 2 years. No, Blake Griffin.
Oh, all right.
He's an elite in-game dunker. That transition was smooth from LeBron. Okay, we can argue this. LeBron could have been an elite in-game dunker this whole time.
He is.
And so here's where I'm going. Is he still an elite in-game dunker, you think?
Yeah, I mean, literally, not even last year he does a reverse windmill against us.
Right, but I feel like LeBron just, like, not recently, but like for the past 4 or 5 years, in order to extend his longevity, he's been cooling out with dunks. Like, he's been probably like just finishing with layups.
No, his last year with the Cavs, he literally obliterated Yusuf Nurkic. That was 3 years ago.
That's true. Okay, so I'm willing to concede that LeBron has been the last elite in-game dunker. This is where I'm getting into.
Okay.
Is Miles Bridges the next elite in-game dunker?
I think he is. Oh, I don't. Okay, it may just also be because of the Hornets announcers as well.
They do play a role. I'm not gonna lie, but the dude is a walking highlight reel.
Did you see his dunk from the other day?
Which one?
I looked like he jumped. Like he literally was like a vertical from halfway inside the free throw line, and he just posted somebody. And then I
think so.
And the Hornets announcers, they didn't even do like the super celebrate. They were like Miles Bridges, and then they stopped. They went monotone. They were like diddly D, and I was like, what the hell? I don't know what the reference behind that was.
They're probably like, okay, this guy does it so often that he just sucked the emotion out of me. But honestly, here's my hesitancy with saying here's the reason why I might be hesitant about giving him that title of elite in-game dunker. You're following up your act with Vince Carter, LeBron, and you could group Blake Griffin in there, but all 3 of those guys were all-stars. Can Miles Bridges be an all-star?
I don't know. I don't think so. No.
You don't think so?
Probably not.
He has a 3-point shot. He's been shooting close to 40%. I think he could potentially be, because I'm not willing to give somebody the title of elite in-game dunker whenever you're following up with Vince Carter and LeBron James. Like, you have to be a star in this league.
Yeah, that's why. Because it could also be just like a flash. Like we saw Derek Jones. Was it Derek Jones from Miami?
Oh, yeah, I see where you're saying.
Like this could just be a flash of dunks for.
He's just going through a phase in his career.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. Just my mind was just working off of ideas of what we could talk about on this show. Yeah. I do think there's a possibility that he could be an all-star, Miles Bridges.
For now, I don't want to say that just because like he's like the number 3 or 4 guy on his team. Like he has LaMelo, Gordon Hayward, and Terry Rozier all ahead of him, in my opinion.
That's true.
So it's just hard to kind of say that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else we talked.
Did we run through all that?
We didn't talk about Trae Young, did we?
No, but I don't think it's that important.
No, not really, because he's out for like maybe a week.
Yeah, he's I mean, obviously, like you could potentially see this being extended out, and then Atlanta could be falling back to the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
I think they'll hold on though. I think they'll avoid the play-in tournament though, Atlanta.
Yeah, like let me look at the standings real quick. In terms of the play-in, now they're starting to like get a little separation. I mean, it's within a game, but like last last week it was within like half a game. Everybody, if you lost the game, you jumped from 4th or 6th seed to 11th seed.
Yeah.
But now each seed is pretty much dictated by a game and a half. There's only
like I think we saw that with Miami because they were like in the 4 or 5 spot and now they're in the 7th.
Yeah. So now between the 4 and the 7th spot, it's a 2-game difference, which is still like pretty tight. But it's not. I feel like it's starting to make its shape a little at least in terms of where the teams are going to be.
Yeah.
Unless something drastic happens, of course.
Yeah, of course. I think we probably hit all the topics that we wanted to talk about. Before we wrap it up, is there anything else that, like, I guess, anticipated to happen? I guess with the the Derek Chauvin case, that would have had pretty severe implications, I think, on the league. But since the guy was found guilty,
rightfully so,
yeah, rightfully so. But can you imagine though, like if he got away, what do you think would have happened with the NBA?
I think it would have been a repeat of last year where they had the games postponed, but I think it would have been more long, like a longevity thing, like at least a week or two. Because like at that point, all the NBA players are for sure going to be outraged, obviously, because they were already outraged last year.
Yeah.
And then you just amplify that by letting the guy walk free. I definitely don't think Kyrie or LeBron are going to sit there and play. I don't think Chris Paul, who's the leader of the Basketball Players Association, would have wanted to play. So they would have had all their big guys go out. The NBA realizes they don't care. They just care that they're going to be losing revenue from these players not playing.
Right. And I think, honestly, they probably wouldn't have been able to do much with the verdict being innocent, like not guilty, because at least, whenever that did happen, because it wasn't in response to George Floyd, was it? I thought it was in response to what happened in Wisconsin and Kenosha.
Yeah, it was a separate thing, but it was like a huge sequence of events starting with George Floyd and then leading up.
Exactly. So I don't think they would have been able to do much because the justice system already found the guy. They would have found him not guilty. Yeah. So you can't do anything there. The guy's already off. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
So I feel like they probably would have went on a hiatus, like you said. Probably would have lasted maybe a week tops, and I think it would have just continued. Or the basketball season would have been continued.
I see what you're saying, but it's also just kind of hard. Like the person I just always look to right away when something like that happens is LeBron, even though he's spoken out against foreign things, which whatever. Yeah. But in terms of what's happening in America, like he's always like the person I think of right away in the NBA if he's going to say something. So I don't really feel like, even though he's injured, like it would have resumed within a week or two. Like I feel like this would have actually had a long-term effect on the season.
Possibly. Yeah. No, I'm in full agreement with you. I'm saying you're saying if he was found innocent.
Yeah, if
would have had a long-term effect.
Yeah.
Never mind. Okay, I thought. Yeah. Never mind.
I don't know.
Possibly.
Thankfully, we don't actually have to see what happened because he was rightfully.
It just would have been bad for everything, man. Like just morale-wise. Yeah. The African American community, and just I think it would have just been terrible.
Yeah, I'm not even African American, and I was watching the case and I was actually nervous. Like before they started announcing it, like my heart was actually beating pretty fast.
Like whenever they started going through the counts, I was live tweeting guilty. Guilty.
Yeah. As soon as I at least said the first one was guilty, I thought they were gonna somehow get him off the third one. But when they said all three guilty, I was like, wow, like they actually finally. I
legit thought the guy was gonna get away like scot free.
I don't think he could. Like they would have allowed it. Something would have happened.
You think so?
If him walking around on the street, something would have happened to him.
No, he would have had police. He would have had security or like. Think about it, man. Like all. The thing is, though, if he was found not guilty, I was also worried about the fact of all the protests and rioting because people would have lost their shit.
Yeah,
100%.
I also said the same thing about when he was found guilty. I was worried about protesting and rioting for the other side who.
I see.
So I feel like regardless.
Yeah.
America's always going to be in this position.
I think you would have had way more people mad, though, obviously, if he got away.
Yeah.
Because it just, anyways.
The whole situation's messed up, but, I mean, at least some justice was found in terms of this. But hopefully it's a change moving forward.
Yeah, hopefully. That's definitely a big step forward.
Yeah.
We're not used to seeing verdicts like that go and swing that way.
Yeah.
Before we wrap it up, though, I want to just go ahead and talk about Terence Davis. Rest in peace. For those who don't know, Terence Davis, I think he played ball at Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
He was going to enter the draft. He declared for the draft. He was projected, I think, at tops mid-first round to late first round or whatever, but he was involved in a car crash, passed away. God rest his soul. So, our thoughts and prayers are with his family. And just, everybody drive carefully, man. Like, obviously, freak stuff happens like that all the time, but just be on the lookout. Because even me, like, when I'm driving, like, I always, like, I get tunnel vision. And so, like, whenever something happens, I start thinking, like, oh, crap, that could have happened. Like, if I didn't pay attention for this much longer, that could have happened. I don't know exactly what had happened. I'm not sure what the events were. I know there was another teammate possibly who was involved, like he was behind him or something like that. I
unfortunately saw the clip of like the traffic light. He was in the car by himself, yeah.
Okay.
What they said, I don't know if what actually happened, is that he ran the red light, hit another car, and then swerved and hit a pole. Which, rest in peace to him. Prayers to him and his family. It's just very unfortunate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to repeat what Hassan said. You always got to be careful when you're driving and just stay safe out there.
All right, man. Well, want to wrap this up. So just like what we talked about, guys, we're going to be hitting this, most likely this once a week. We'll probably, I don't know exactly when we'll release this video, but we would appreciate you guys for whoever, if you're a video listener or watcher, please subscribe, like, comment, share. It goes a long way. It goes a long way for us, just to let us know that we're doing something right. And if you honestly want to criticize us, please feel free to comment. Say like, hey guys, I think you could be doing this better or whatever.
Yeah, we're not stuck up about
hell no.
about criticism or suggestions. So please let us know.
It's flattering to me, honestly. Yeah. We have a friend who watches this, and he criticizes us. He criticizes us all the time. Yeah. But yeah, and you can, if you want to criticize us, go ahead and you can do it on. You can follow us on social media. Send us a message and let us know. Hey guys, you suck. You could do this better. Yeah. Our social media, Hoop MCs. We could be found on Instagram and Twitter. So make sure you follow us there. We definitely engage with our followers. We're always tweeting. We're always posting. We'll post promos, little snippets of these episodes. We're excited about this channel, the growth of this channel. I think these podcasts are only just going to get better. Truly, I really do feel that since we're able to be in person. There was always that lag of communication, I think, whenever we were doing this over the video. Yeah. And it's like, did he hear me?
Yeah, literally, I would just always worry about accidentally cutting you off, and then there would be like a little second delay, so it's just an awkward silence. Yeah. But now we're good. We can actually see and hear each other.
Yeah. And if you're on Spotify, make sure you follow us, download those episodes. It's just another metric for us to go by to let us know that, like, okay, well, we have somewhat of a reaching, and it's hopefully being received positively. And on Apple Podcasts, if you're a listener on Apple Podcasts, make sure you subscribe, leave a review. It goes a long way. Like I said, we appreciate y'all's support. Before we sign off, you got anything else to say, man?
No, honestly, I'm just super excited for this new format, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, it's only going up from here. I'm saying that not to like boast or to be arrogant, but think this is gonna get better, and we're gonna continue to grow. And hey, I'm glad to be doing this with you.
You too, man.
Pound it.
Yeah, dude. All right. We'll work on the pounding, but
we will.
Appreciate the support, guys, as always.
All right, later, guys.
Trauma bonds, got close off of battle scars. Equal pain, so we think it's equal games. Same team, but it's different hearts. Same goals, but it's different shots. Thought we was winning the same. Turns out you were just running me game. Should've known, but I couldn't guess it. It's a damn shame.